There's a moment that happens when you finally stop moving. The engine goes quiet, the road dust settles, and you realize the road's been talking to you the entire time. Not about where to go next, but about how much you've been carrying. 2025 gave me a lot. It also took more than I expected. And before I roll another mile into 2026, I needed to sit with that for a moment. Welcome back to the Wandering Gypsy RV Life podcast. I'm Stan Cromlish, and this is the Campfire, where real stories from the road live. The good ones, the hard ones, and the lessons you don't learn until you've been out here long enough to earn them. This episode is not a highlight reel. It's not a travel recap. And it's definitely not a victory lap. This is a reflection, because 2025 was a year of extremes for me. A year of momentum, a year of massive change, and a year that quietly taught me where my limits really are. So today, I want to talk about three things: what went right, what wore me down, and what I'm doing differently as I roll into 2026. If you've ever loved this life and still felt tired by it, pull up a chair. What went right? When 2025 started, I still had structure. I was working a full-time job remotely. I had a schedule, and whether I realized it or not, I had guardrails. The year kicked off in Red Bay, Alabama, where Birdie B got some long overdue attention. New seating, new captain's chairs, comfort upgrades that weren't about looks, but about livability. And that set the tone. One of the biggest things that went right in 2025 was this: I stopped treating comfort and maintenance like luxuries. I started treating them like tools. Later in the summer, Birdie B was washed, waxed, and ceramic coated. Rosie was too. But more importantly, I educated myself on the services available in and around Red Bay, Alabama. That knowledge lowers stress, because when something eventually goes sideways, you already know where to turn. Another thing that went right was connection. Rallies in Georgia, Wyoming, and South Carolina reconnected me with old friends and introduced me to new ones. It also reinforced why RV education has become such a core part of the Wandering Gypsy RV life. I still remember starting out in 2020, not knowing what I didn't know. If I can shorten that learning curve for someone else, that matters. And somewhere along the way, I learned to laugh more. A lot of mishaps ended up in rolling smooth, from breakdowns to belly laughs. Not because they were fun in the moment, but because humor became a pressure valve. Maintenance stayed current. Small issues stayed small. And that discipline made the road easier to live on. What wore me down? The first half of 2025 was paced. And it was paced because it had to be. I still had an office requirement in Birmingham a few days a month, which forced planning and kept me geographically grounded. Then in May, everything changed. Due to company downsizing, I retired from my full-time job. And just like that, the guardrails were gone. I jumped headlong into the RV life. More travel, more content, launching this podcast, building partnerships, saying yes to opportunities that all made sense on their own. Individually, none of it was overwhelming. Stacked together, it added a ton of weight. Then September hit. I was at the Penn Coachman Pocono Raceway Rally when I learned my Grass Valley mom, Mary, had passed away. If you've ever received news like that while already in motion, you know how disorienting it can be. The wind went right out of my sails, but the calendar didn't care. October brought jury duty. November was a sprint, the gear rally, new friendships, getting sideswiped at Ocean Lakes, an injured Birdie B, a fast turn to Florida for the PRCA Southeastern Circuit Finals, then 3 long days back to Red Bay for repairs. By Thanksgiving, I was running on fumes. December brought Las Vegas, the National Finals Rodeo, the World Series of Team Roping, and working the booth with Techno RV. But that's where something clicked. Living Quarters horse trailers use the same systems as RVs, the same tires, the same power, the same vulnerabilities. But many cowboys and cowgirls don't have access to the same education that RVers do. Not because they don't care, but because they're chasing that next event. Tires don't care about schedules. Systems don't care about deadlines. And neglect always collects interest. By Christmas, the fatigue caught up, quietly, honestly. What I'm doing differently in 2026. So here's the shift. 2026 isn't about doing less. It's about doing deliberately. January starts with the Tampa RV Super Show. After that, I'm staying put at Kickback Ranch for most of that first quarter. No stacked travel, no chasing momentum, just recovery, reflection, and planning from a place of rest instead of reaction. Right now, there are only 3 big commitments on the calendar. Tampa, the Family RV Association Rally in Perry, Georgia, and my birthday week fishing in Wyoming in May. Everything else grows outward from there, intentionally. I'm also planning to write more RV-focused books that lean into the equine side of this lifestyle. Because bridging that education gap feels important, and it feels right. Most of all, I'm listening more to my energy, to my limits, to that quiet voice that knows when it's time to slow down. Thanks for riding along with me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed, leave a review, and share it with a fellow wanderer. That's how this campfire keeps growing. You can find more stories, photos, videos, and everything Wandering Gypsy over at wanderinggypsyrvlife.com. And if you want behind the scenes extras, including that special video with Ned Ledoux, head over to Patreon and join the Wandering Gypsy RV Life Campfire Circle. That's where the deeper stories live. A quick thank you to Techno RV, my go-to for RV gear, safety tech, water filtration, and electrical upgrades. You can find the gear I trust using my affiliate link at technorv.com. To my Patreon community, you're the heart of this campfire. Your support keeps the wheels turning and the stories rolling. And a final shout out to my good friend, Doug Simcox, and his podcast, Beyond the Chutes. If you love rodeo history and cowboy storytelling, give it a listen. Until next time, keep your rig rolling smooth, keep your coffee hot, and remember, sometimes the best roads are the ones the GPS won't even show you. And not all who wander are lost.